If you've watched one of my previous videos, one of my last videos, the 6 signs of relationship OCD, every fearful avoidant should know. You know that these two are quite linked, the fearful avoidant attachment style and relationship OCD. So watch that other video if you haven't yet. And I can imagine you kind of wanting to know why. Why do you have a higher chance? And this comes from research. I might try to put the little graph here, if I can. If not, it's not there. But that shows that out of all the 4 attachment styles, so secure, anxiously preoccupied, dismissive avoidant, and fearful avoidant, that the fearful avoidant has the highest chance of having OCD, and especially relationship OCD. And that is because the fearful avoidant is high in anxiety, and so has a lot of fear and has a lot of perfectionist tendencies. And I want to dive into that a little bit today. This might be a bit more of a short video, because I want you to know that it is not your character. It is not who you are that causes these OCD tendencies, because it can be relationship OCD, but it can also be another form of OCD. It's just that fearful avoidants have a higher chance of having these OCD tendencies. And the first reason is that many, if not all, fearful avoidants believe that when I'm perfect, I am safe. And the fearful avoidant is not the only one that believes that. The anxiously preoccupied one has this belief too, but where it differs is that the anxiously preoccupied believes that when they're perfect, they won't be abandoned. And the fearful avoidant believes that when they're not perfect, they're actually physically, maybe even physically unsafe. So there's even more, because it definitely feels like a need for the anxiously preoccupied too. But there's an even more dire need for being perfect. Like there's no other option than being perfect. You need to be perfect and then you're safe. And not only you need to be perfect, and that's more, I think, what the anxiously preoccupied believes. If I'm perfect, I'm safe. Your relationship has to be perfect as a fearful avoidant. Your partner has to be perfect. The way you both do things have to be perfect, because if your partner's not perfect, then you can get rejected too, because it's your choice to be with your partner. So that's why you get annoyed so easily. That's why you have so many doubts. That's why you zero in and focus on all the really, really, really small flaws that your partner has, because they have to be perfect. And you believe that if they are perfect, you will be safe, or you will feel safe. And of course, that's never in the perfection of anyone around you, even of yourself or of any external factors. That feeling of safety is within you. And you get to feel safe no matter what happens outside of you, no matter what your partner does. And you can get to that place. And I so wish for you to feel that sense of freedom and that sense of peace that I now have pretty much every day. So when you heal the fearful avoidant attachment style, you will allow yourself to not be perfect, allow your partner to not be perfect, allow your relationship to not be perfect, and be super duper happy within all that. Because I think it might be that your fear brain is like, but then I won't be happy and then we'll get a divorce and da 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 da. But that's not true. You can be absolutely deliriously happy while things are not perfect, while your partner is not perfect, while you are not perfect. So you do not have to be perfect at all to be safe. You get to feel safe and be happy without any perfection needed from anybody. Isn't that cool? You get to go there. When you're healed, you'll say, whoa, yeah, this is much better. Not trying to control my external factors, and just finding that safety within myself. Another reason that you have a higher chance of relationship OCD, having a relationship OCD as a fearful avoidant, is because fearful avoidants have a deep fear of connection. And this is where it differs a lot from the anxiously preoccupied, and why I keep mentioning the anxiously preoccupied is because they also have those anxiety tendencies, but not necessarily the OCD tendencies. So the fear of connection. I think a lot of fearful avoidants don't really realize that they have that. You might not even know it, uh, because you might long for like passion and really deep connection. And yet, when it is there, or when the possibility is there, you get scared. You get really scared. And relationship OCD and the doubts that come with that, the obsessive, intense doubts that come with that, are actually a protection mechanism against connection and against that fear of connection. So having doubts will keep your partner at a distance. Having doubts will cause you, according to your fear brain, to not feel as much pain when your partner rejects you or abandons you. And having doubts gives you an excuse to not surrender to the relationship until you know 100% sure that this is the one, until it is perfect. So having these doubts is a form of protection to deal with the fear of connection. So you're really afraid to let somebody come really close. And before you do that, before you allow somebody to get really close, um, you just doubt everything. You doubt everything. And the solution is not in doubting even more until you get to a perfect place. The solution is allowing yourself to have things not be perfect. And it's not that it's just a simple choice. It's not that you can just choose, oh, okay, so I'm just not going to doubt anymore now, because it's really scary for you as a fearful avoidant to let somebody come really close and to let somebody in, because you have experienced pain and connection is associated with pain for you, probably. So it is logical that it's hard to let somebody come close, to let somebody in, and to relax into that, and um, to feel safe in that. So the fear of connection is it's not weird, and the relationship OCD is not weird either. It's a way to kind of have control and to know absolutely sure that this person um, is absolutely right for you. But it doesn't work, obviously. I mean, if you've been struggling with relationship OCD, you know that it doesn't get better. It just gets worse. Those thoughts just feed off of each other. And the more you find that is wrong with your partner, the more things you will find wrong. So it's kind of like a vicious cycle. And I so wish for you to get out of that and to allow that connection and to make it feel safe and to make it feel good. And that's what we'll do in Healing the Fearful Avoidant, the online program that will be coming out somewhere this year. You can sign up for the wait list through the link in the description below. And until then, we'll have healing sessions. And you can sign up for those too through the link in the description below. So those were the first two. We still have a third one. And that is the fear of failure. And I think pretty much all fearful avoidants have a fear of failure in some area of their life, but most of them have that within relationships. And you might not even be aware that it actually is a fear of failure, because it just feels like I just have to know if this is the one. I have to know if this is the right choice. It feels sensible, right? It feels sensible because it is a big choice. But where it gets kind of iffy is where you think, well, what if I don't love them anymore after we've been together for so many years and I have to get a divorce? And in that sentence, that's just one example of the thoughts you can have, but any thoughts that pertain to the future, that make you jump to the future and ask a what if question, those tend to be perfectionistic tendencies and definitely come from fear. And mostly from a fear of failure, because you are afraid to fail. You are afraid to get a divorce. You don't want to get a divorce. You don't want to hurt people. You don't want to hurt your partner. You don't want to hurt any possible future children. So you want everything to be perfect right now. You need everything to be perfect right now, because if it's not, there is a chance of failure, and then you've done it wrong, and then you've known all this time and you shouldn't have made this choice. And that might be like a little circle of thoughts that's going through your head. Like, if in 30 years I don't love them anymore, and then we have to break up, and then I would have known all this time because I had doubts at the beginning of our relationship, and so it's my fault and I failed and this is not good. And you might not even put the word failed in it, but it does come from a sense of fear of failure. Because the more you can be okay with the fact that you never know, nobody knows, and I mean nobody in the whole entire world knows if a relationship is going to work or not. They don't know if they will ever get a divorce or not. Nobody, when they start a relationship, knows that. So you don't have to know that. There are people that say, oh, I knew this was the one, or I know this is the one. But that doesn't mean that they kind of have this foreseeing ability, or that they do know for sure. They don't. They just have this feeling that they have, which is not just based on the feeling for their partner, but it's also based on their own beliefs and their own fears and their own experiences around love and attachment. So nobody knows if they will be together in 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And that's okay. If you can get to a point where you are okay with getting a divorce in 20, 30, 40 years, and that being okay, and knowing that you will survive that, and you will get out of that, and you will find love again, that will take so much power away from the fear of failure, the fear of not making the right choice. It will really help you a lot. And I know it might be really scary to hear that, but I have that now. I wanted to know for absolutely sure that Arjen, my now husband, was the one, and we would never, ever, ever, ever get a divorce. And now I can just really, like, down to earth. There's a word for that in Dutch, down to earth, but I guess that's a translation. I can just say, I don't know. I don't know if we'll be together forever. I want to be together forever. I love him. I love our relationship, and I think we will be together forever. But I'm okay either way. I will be okay either way. And that might sound really unromantic, but it caused me to be able to let go of the doubts. It caused me to be able to be happy in this moment without trying to control it and trying to see, oh, do I love him enough in this moment? Do I feel enough in this moment? Because then you want to have control. And the thing, I think I touched on this in a previous video. The thing that is so interesting is that when you try to have that sense of control, you will never get that. Control is an illusion, which sucks to hear for the fearful avoidant. But you do have influence. And when you try to get control, you completely ignore the influence you can have. Because when you try to control, you demand your feelings to be the best they can be right now. You demand your partner to be perfect. That is not conducive environment for love to grow. That is not a safe place for love to grow. And on the other hand, you do have influence. You can create a safe place for love to grow within your relationship. You can choose to look at your partner positively. You can choose to see the things that are there. You don't have to make up things, but just see the beautiful qualities that they do have and the wonderful moments that you do have together. And you can admire your partner and compliment your partner and be grateful for what you have together. And it's so interesting to me and so mind-boggling that these two usually don't go together. Like, you either go for control or you go for influence. And the thing is, the people that have happy marriages, they know they don't control everything. They can't control everything. They focus on influence. So they influence their relationship by choosing positive thoughts, by choosing to see their partner positively, their relationship by being grateful. So you do have influence. You just don't have control. And that's what you obviously want with relationship OCD, because that's obsessive compulsive disorder. You need to have that control. Um, but it's not there, and you don't need it to be really, really happy. You're really, really happy. So those were 3 reasons why fearful avoidants have a higher chance of relationship OCD, and even a way to kind of like already dissolve that a little bit. So I really hope this helped you. I said this would be a short video, and it's not. I'm not good at those. But I do hope that this was all valuable to you. Let me know in the comments below if you recognize any of this, and I will see you in the next video.